Are you working on learning Eccossaise from Suzuki Book 2? I'd like to talk to you about the fingerings in the right and left hand that are a little bit tricky, and make sure that you get yourself set up properly and perfectly to do that. My name is Michelle and I'm a Suzuki piano teacher. Join me for Suzuki piano lessons and learn the fun way. All right, so fingerings for the left hand, Okay, so fingerings for the right hand that are tricky are in this little part in measure 3. It's actually really, really fun. You're going to be kind of creeping up the piano in a really fun way. So starting with the G in measure 2, you do 2, 4, and then slide your thumb onto the B, and you do 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. So we do this as kind of a group, and then we slide the thumb up to B. Just maybe squeeze your hand together a little bit to get the thumb over, and then you're pretty much set for the rest of it. So be sure to observe that fingering. This can get really tricky if you're not sure which fingers to use, because there's a whole lot of notes kind of going up and up and up. So be sure to pay attention to that fingering in measure 3. Okay, that's one fingering I wanted to draw your attention to, and then I feel like there was one other thing. Okay, depending on your hand size, on this first line in the left hand, right here, depending on your hand size, how big your hand is, you might be able to play the 5th with your 2 and your 5, or you might need to play it with your 1 and your 5. So that depends on how old you are, how big you are, how wide you can reach. And you can make that choice with your teacher. So we have a 1 for the F, and then when we come down here, this can be 1 and 5, or this can be 2 and 5, depending on what's comfortable for you. So you don't want to play a 5th with these 2 fingers if you feel like you're really, really reaching for it. That's not healthy. It's not a good idea. So if it feels like you have to reach really far to play this 5th, then your hand is a little bit too small, and you're going to want to use the fingering that's for smaller hands, and that would be the 1 and the 5. Okay? For either one, remember that this is staccato. So we have jump, jump, and then land here. This one's not staccato. Okay? So you can do on the top 1, 1, 1, or you can do 1, 2, 1, depending on what is most comfortable for you and what works for the size of your fingers in your hand. Okay? So those are the 2 fingering things that I thought really we should talk about. And then in measure 23, there's something that is new. That is a really big reach. It's almost an octave. Okay, for this one, got a really small hand, you won't be able to hold this bottom note and reach all the way up to the F. So you might need to be doing just the 3 and the 1 like this. That sounds like an ambulance, doesn't it? So you might have to kind of hit this 3rd and then move up, hit the 3rd, and then move up, depending on your hand size. That's for measure 23 and also for measure 31. They're the exact same notes. So just know that you may need to kind of accommodate for that big reach by just shifting your hand over. It's totally fine if you're not holding everything. You just move back and forth. Okay? That's probably all that we need to talk about with fingering. So have fun with this piece. It's really great. I think that this is really, really good for teaching you the sort of hand shape for the second version where it is a really good way to prepare your hand and teach it that specific shape of this arpeggiated chord. So I want you to be sure and be mindful that you're using the 2 and the 4. A lot of times with an arpeggio like this, we might do 5, 3, 2, 1. That's why I mentioned this. It might be natural for you to do 5, 3, 2, 1. But because of the other notes that are in this melody, it's important to have that 4 on the E. Okay? 5, 4, 2, 1. So make sure you get that fingering as written. And good luck with your learning. Be sure to ask me any questions you have about fingering or notes or just how to do this exactly. I want to help. All right, there's your little fingering lesson.